What's up, guys? Welcome back to Spawn Point Podcast, episode 13.
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. Are we on 13 or 12?
We're on 13, dude.
It's too early in this show's career to be getting fucked up with the numbers. 13!
I know.
Jason's with me as always. How you doing, man? How was your week?
Good. It was good. I mean, honestly, not too much to talk. Well, no, I should say not all good. My freaking car broke down on my way home from work on Thursday. I mean, it didn't break down, but something was definitely funky, and I was like, dude, I do not feel safe driving this, so I pulled over. We got a guy that has been working on kind of both of our cars for a while. He used to work at Midas, and now he's basically at his own shop that he opened up, and we trust him. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't need to. Great pricing. So we called him, and he's like, yeah, just tow it to the shop, drop the keys, and I'll take a look at it. So the front end was like wobbling and making these weird noises and stuff. I'm like, and I'm going down Edgewood at like 4:30, and it's like major rush hour. So I'm like, dude, I'm not like, and you get so far down on Edgewood, and there's nowhere to pull over. So I'm like, if I get down there and it gets worse, like you cannot. There's no shoulder. There's no nothing. So I'm like, I'm not risking it. Pulled over, got it towed. He called me the next day and was like, all right, man, you need a new fuel pump. Like your engine's getting more fuel than it needs and stuff. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's weird though, but like, why would that have anything to do with like my front end shaking? And he's like, I mean, I don't know. I guess your engine could shake and stuff. So I'm like, dude, I don't know. He's like, all right, I'm gonna drive it back out and see if I can't feel what you're feeling. Cause he did take it out and he's like, I'm not feeling that. So he took it out again, and then he called me back. He's like, all right, I'm feeling it. So basically my calipers on my front were locking up. And I did notice like I would sit at a stoplight and like let off the brake and it wouldn't move. And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's like, all right, you do need a fuel pump at some point. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's just get these calipers and stuff, readjusted. So anyway, he's doing all that crap, and then I'm picking it up tomorrow. So,
well, nice.
Yeah, we both have our share of car issues lately.
Yeah, I hope I'm done, but
damn.
I was off all week with my knee because it swole up and I couldn't move. Are you serious, dude? I just said off stream, don't sneeze on me. And he fucking sneezes on me.
And he sneezes on you.
But yeah, so I had the week off. I played a shitload of games. It was a good week to have off. A lot of games this week, so got a lot of gaming time in. Feel a little guilty, but I don't at the same time. I don't know. It's one of those weird things.
I wouldn't, just because of the issues that you're having, and your doctor was like, dude, take a week, let it rest. So
yeah, well, it is what it is.
I wouldn't, and guess what? You didn't miss a goddamn thing at work. So
no, I never planned to do that. That's for sure.
No, that's definitely for sure.
Got a full week this week. It's going to be a fun episode. It was maybe the most hectic release week we've had since we started the show. Packed week. Out of nowhere.
And packed full of stuff that we're both interested in. Not just packed, of games that are like, yeah, that's cool, but like stuff that we're both like, dude, what am I going to play? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Much stuff. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great week. I mean, we said in our April release, we're like, it's not the greatest month, and then fucking here we are getting hammered.
It just seems like
the end of the month.
Boom, just getting nailed with stuff. So I think we should get into it. First up, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. We are available on everything. I mean, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. Join our Discord. We still got some spots left in there for you guys to hop into. Been having some conversations, stuff on that. Our podcast, obviously, YouTube, like, subscribe, leave us a comment on anything. We love it. We always spend like a little bit of time before, we start this looking, through our comments and stuff, and we try to respond, right away when we see them. But if we don't, we'll get to it. But we're trying to grow this thing, guys, and we would really appreciate any help, any support that you guys can can throw our way. And we also have a email address, and that email address is spawnpointnetwork@outlook.com.
At outlook.com. We did
spawnpointnetwork@outlook.com.
Yeah.
So send us an email. Yeah. Did I miss anything? You're usually the housekeeping guy. I'm trying to step up my game a little bit here.
No, but I will say there's room in Discord for everyone. There's just a few Founders titles left. So if you want to jump in and get those Founders titles, get in there and do some stuff. I don't know. This week was a good week for us content-wise as well. We fucking shot up there. We were at 54 starting episode 12. We're at 61 today. So pretty good jump for our stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Every time I logged in, I'm like, God, there's another one. There's another one.
Yeah, we're doing we're moving forward, and that's great. So sorry to keep bothering you with the housekeeping slam, but it has to happen. You have to have a callback. I'm notorious.
Clearly it worked.
I'm notorious for not doing those things unless I'm told in the video. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. We're gonna have a lot of games to talk about. And the first one we have here, we both played, but I guess I'll take the lead on it.
Yeah, you take the lead. You played a little bit more than I did.
So we're talking about Replaced. Now, this is a game we have talked about on the show many times. We were both very excited. We watched the trailer, loved the art style, and I will say the art style is absolutely fantastic in this game. It's like
phenomenal.
A mix. Yeah, what is the difference between pixel art and voxel?
Dude,
is voxel bigger pixels?
I always thought that voxel was like bigger pixels. I thought voxel was almost like more cube-like in a way.
Yeah.
And you can make a voxel, bigger or smaller. I covered that game, many episodes ago. That was Cloudpunk.
Yeah,
and that was very voxel, like bigger, chunkier. So I think I don't know, to be completely honest. I think they're similar.
For sure, they're similar.
I don't know.
I would call this game pixel art with like maybe voxel backgrounds, but it's more on the pixel art side of things, but it's very visually stunning. And that's, in my opinion, the only thing that is good about this game. And I'm kind of going to go into it. I did not have a great experience with this game, I will say. So right off the bat, the game is one of the slowest burning narratives I've ever experienced. And I expected to go into this game and it was like an action side-scrolling game, and I wasn't expecting a massive narrative dump right at the beginning. I would say, God, it felt like 20-25 minutes of narrative build up before you even have your first combat encounter, which is fine because you're looking at a really nice looking game, but it's like, holy smokes. So that was a little bit rough. And then on top of that, I have never yearned for voice over in a game more than I did in this game. It feels so odd to not have character voice any voice. There's no voice acting in this game. And they would have made that 25-minute narrative section a lot more tolerable, but on top of that, like, honestly, so I'm going way too far. This is a 2.5D action side-scrolling game with a heavy focus on narrative. So I played for 7 hours. And
through an 8-hour game.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
You'll get there.
But the narrative, it's got to be a 50-50 split, if not even a little bit more on the narrative side. It's very strange. I mean, it's telling a pretty fun and interesting story. I will give it that. It's basically telling the tale of a AI that, due to a certain circumstance, gets warped into a human body. So the AI is learning how to be human and learning, all of that. I'm not going to go much further than that. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's an interesting narrative. It's pretty relevant to the time, but boy, is it proud of its story. And then moving into the combat, it's very Arkham Asylum esque. You know, you're basically performing light attacks, heavy attacks, and then a big Spidey sense thing pops up, and you can perform a counter attack to that. Then you also get a weapon that you can shoot that has to build via a meter that you can, and then that thing is really strong, so it's pretty helpful, and it adds more mechanics as the game goes on that I'm not going to go into. I think Jason might still be playing this, but we're going to get to him in a second. But it does add some cool mechanics, but I think the combat sucks in this game. I'm just being honest. I think it feels incredibly clunky. There's armored enemies in the game that you have to perform a heavy attack on to break their armor or their shield, whatever it may be. And all the enemies tend to clump together. So if you get a group of enemies clumped together and you want to throw a heavy attack to break the shield, you're either going to hit a guy that's not a heavy and it's just going to do a little bit extra damage, or if you decide that, you know, there's so many light guys, I'm going to throw a light attack in this posse, then you'll bounce off the shield. So you're constantly flying to the outside of the arena, so that way you can take on enemies one at a time, just so that way you can sort through the hodgepodge of enemies that are on screen. It doesn't feel very good. I don't think that the combat is very flowy. It's not, it just feels very like, do like this combo, do this, do. I think it's always kind of the same, even though they keep adding mechanics to the systems. It's not very flowy. I would have much rather had a more fast-paced combat system here than what we got, but that's just a personal preference thing. Somebody probably will like it, but honestly, I felt that we're all pretty similar, and I just didn't really enjoy it that much. There's a lot of platforming in this game with some very basic puzzles. I have issues with this too, unfortunately. There's so many times where I would get to the top of like a ladder and I would see that I have to jump to the other side. So the ladder's on the right, I would have to jump to the left side of the screen. And I would get as high as I could, and it didn't look at all like I had enough height to reach the thing. But then I would jump over there and it would kind of like do this really botched animation where I grabbed it and kind of stepped up over it, but it just didn't really look right. And then that happens all throughout the game because the camera changes perspective a lot. So it looks like jumps you shouldn't be able to make based on your experience with the game, you sometimes can make. So you have to like make leaps of faith, kind of.
Yeah, and hope.
And hope, even though it under a normal circumstance, you wouldn't be able to do that, but it is designed so in that specific case you can. So it makes it really awkward to try to find your balance on what you can do and what you can't do, which is kind of a negative for a platforming game when you don't know what you're capable of. So that stinks. I had problems sticking my hook into the cracked walls from time to time. Like my input just didn't happen. I'd just fall. It was just a lot of platforming issues. But most criminal of all, I got 7 hours into this game at an 8-hour game. My save corrupted completely. I ended up in this building. There was a door knocking. Obviously, I had to walk to the door. I would walk to the door. Nothing would happen. So I restarted my game. And then when I respawned in, it was just black. All the assets were fucked and bugged and everything was gone. And there was no way for me to recover my save. There's no like multiple save file system in the game. There's just, you have your one file and my file is fucked. So I went and watched the end of the game on YouTube and called it good enough. So yeah, all in all for me, I don't like this game. I think you should all pass on it. If you have a Series X, there has been no reported crashes on Series X. This is a PC Series S issue, and it's due to memory.
Oh, I thought apparently. It was just PC.
Nope, Series S is having problems too. So at least wait till you know the game is stable before playing it if you're playing on one of those platforms. But that's replaced. Sad. I mean, the game looks really nice, but I don't think it was fun to play, and it just really didn't give me what I was looking for. What do you think about it?
I haven't seen any. Have the devs addressed that because it's not just you. I've seen other people report that kind of game breaking bug towards the end. Have they addressed that at all? Have you seen?
I haven't seen because I don't give a shit. I'm not.
Okay.
My save is fucked regardless of if they fix it or not. My save is corrupted. It's not going to be recoverable, and there's no way I'm playing this game again. There's no way. I'm not interested in playing it again. So I'm sure they're working on it. I fucking certainly hope so.
No shit.
But yeah,
Microsoft has been talking about this one for a while. So
yeah, and I
got to get it fixed.
Yeah, when I had the bug, I looked online. I was like, shit, dude, somebody else has had to experience this. I saw a ton of articles about Series S bugs, but nothing about PC. Then I made our video on the Spawn Point Network YouTube channel. Go subscribe. And I got a lot of comments about people on PC having the same fucking problem in the same spot. Right. Multiple people said in the same exact spot. Some people said even earlier in the game. I don't know, man. I wish it would have happened to me earlier because I would have, saved myself a few hours, but that is besides the point.
Right. Yeah. So I honestly have pretty similar thoughts to Cam on this. This is a very it's a very vibes heavy game, and it's almost like they rely on that too much.
Mm-hmm.
Cam was saying about like the kind of Arkham style, combat. It just doesn't seem to work as well in a 2D perspective as it does like in a 3D Batman Arkham game. Like those games just felt more visceral, more like you got guys coming from all sides. This, it's literally they're either on the left or the right of you. So it's just kind of a lot of just back and forth. And Cam said he played this about 7 hours. I think I have about 4 in this. I sat down for another hour after I talked to you last and got about another hour in, but I honestly, I don't know if I even plan on continuing it. I was very excited for this. I loved the look, but after playing it, I'm kind of like, yeah, the look is great, but you need more than a look
100%.
to carry a game all the way through. And we mentioned we both made videos on this game. It took a while to get used to like the controls and stuff on what button you're supposed to hit for, whether you're doing like a dodge roll or a parry. I mean, it is very like punchy, like in the combat. You do feel like you hit hard, but it I don't even know how to describe it. It almost feels like checklisty in its own combat. Like it's just like, okay, boom, boom, guy done, boom, boom, guy done. Yep. Like
100%.
It's just too much back and forth. And I don't know, like Cam said, I was hoping for a little bit more to the combat, but again, I didn't get quite as far. I don't have some of the things Cam, had mentioned, like the hook. I know there's like a hook thing to get into certain areas, but I don't know. I just didn't make it that far. But you were also talking about the platforming, and I noticed the same exact thing, and I was like, I'm climbing up certain things, and they do what a lot of games do, where like it has a different color on things that you can grab. The ladders are a different color. The ledges have like this different color to them. So you're like, all right, clearly that's where I jumped to. But like there were certain areas that I was like, I can't reach that. Like I'm like, where am I supposed to go? And then I'm like, just all right, let's see what happens. And then I would get it. And I noticed that same thing that Cam did, where it's just like almost like this weird animation where it's like they didn't like the spacing is like almost too far, so they kind of like your character like kind of grabs and does this weird animation to like grab onto things and then move up, and I'm just kind of like, all right, that was a little weird. You probably could have spaced that a little bit better, but I don't know. It's I don't know what else to say. I mean, vibes only can take a game so far, and it just doesn't feel like there's enough there.
No. I mean, the narrative is nice. I mean, you do build intrigue in these characters, which is good. I mean, if that's what you're looking for. But to tie back into the platforming, it does have like the colored markers, but there was a lot of times where I was sitting there like, where the fuck do I go? Like they're almost obscured in a way, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there was plenty of times where I was like I would be in an area like looking around like, what the fuck? Where in the hell am I supposed to? And then there was like this little pipe that I mean, because it's so small in the background that you have to climb on. So I had that issue too. Dude, I'm so disappointed by this game's combat. It's so hard to explain. Like, even if you're watching the video footage, the combat on screen looks really cool, but it's not fun to play at all.
100%. It is a game that looks more fun than it is.
100%.
I will absolutely agree with that. It's just, and then you got those guys that, like, you know, shoot guns at you, and you obviously have to roll underneath them. So you kind of almost have to go and get them first. So you stop getting blasted, and you're just kind of rolling. It just feels like you're rolling through guys and stuff just to get to, which, you know, is an aspect of it being a 2D game, a you know, side-scrolling style game. It's just, I don't know. It's just like the combat doesn't fit with the type of game that it is. I know we just said that before, but I just can't believe it's kind of my thoughts.
I can't believe it's as, I don't know. This game surprised me with how, I don't know. I was super disappointed. That's all I got to say about it. But it was on Game Pass, so
yep.
I mean, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, if I would have bought this game and had a game-breaking bug crash, that would have been pissed as fuck.
Yep.
So,
you're still paying for Game Pass though, so
yeah.
But there's other shit on there.
Yeah. Anyways, that's replaced. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't recommend this, even if it gets fixed, but definitely not right now because there is no reason to risk losing your progress. So that's my thoughts.
And if you buy it, I think it's only what, $20?
It's $19.99. Yeah,
$19.99.
I don't care. This game needs voice acting really bad. Like it's I don't know.
Even in my, like, the little short that I made on this, like, I did like enjoy the characters and I enjoyed the character interactions and stuff. But yes, a voice, like, so when you, like you mentioned at the beginning, like you're like this like lab tech type guy and you're working with this AI in this laboratory, and without spoiling it, something happens and basically the AI is like integrated with you. And then throughout the course of the game, like, your character doesn't really say anything, right? It's the AI is kind of like controlling you in a way, which I guess you just kind of figure that out as you go. But some point, like early on, I was like, do they talk to each other? Or like, obviously your character can like understand what he's saying, but like your character doesn't say anything. So it would have been kind of cool to have like voice acting so that, you know, like, okay, this is definitely the AI, you know, talking to me. But like even the characters that you meet in some of these towns and stuff, they're interesting enough. But yeah, having some
it would just break up the dullness of the fucking cutscenes. I mean, that's my biggest issue. Is like, god damn, fuck, you gotta. This is like reading a novel, pretty much. I mean, it really is like reading a novel. There's a lot of narrative here. Anyway, let us know what you think about Replace down below. We blabbed about it plenty. I actually haven't looked at reviews. Have you seen any from?
Not. You know what? Outlets? I didn't really.
I didn't even
some mixed stuff, but I didn't really. No, I didn't dive into the reviews on this one too much.
I try not to when I'm going to talk about it on the show because I don't want to be influenced. Right. But at least if I have I will do that if I have a solid opinion on it, which in this game is very bad. I think I gave it a 4 out of 10 on Fuse when I reviewed it. Or excuse me.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
Panax.
Oh, yeah. What happened there?
I don't know. Fuse must be copyrighted, but I don't mind the name, but that needs a new logo bad. Anyway.
I couldn't even read what it was saying. I'm like, what does that say?
Yeah. Anyways, Panax is a cool app. Terrible name, but I give it a 4 out of 10. I don't recommend it. Jason doesn't sound like he does either, and he might be just done with it, which is fine too. I don't blame you at all. Let's move on from there. Jason has got games I don't know this week. Let's go.
Okay.
Baby!
All right. So Cam's had his share of weird oddities that he's thrown in the last couple of weeks, and this is mine. This has been out for quite a while. This is called Going Under, and it is like a very like funny satirical kind of action roguelite, semi-isometric perspective, and it's essentially a dungeon crawler, but in a like company setting. So you play as this character named Jackie, and she's like an intern at this marketing company. And you like so you're supposed to be like like I said, an intern doing marketing stuff, but because you're an intern, they have you doing all this dumb menial shit, and one of the things that you're tasked with doing is diving into these like underground, like defunct companies underneath this marketing umbrella. So the company that like you're hired with is called Fizzle, like Fizzle Beverages, but they've also worked with all these other like lesser known, companies. And you the workers in these companies are basically kind of turned into like goblins in a way. Like they've worked like their ass off, and they've just kind of turned into these, like they don't leave the area, and they've kind of turned into these goblins. So you're kind of tasked with going down and like getting rid of all these employees turned goblins to basically just kind of like clean out the. It's weird. I'm doing a terrible job of describing this game because it is so freaking bizarre. But it's very like the thing that I thought was kind of cool is it's not using like real names of companies, but they're very similar to other things. So you're kind of like, I get what they're doing with this. There's like a Bitcoin company in here, and it's when you go down there, all of the enemies are like miners, like skeleton miners, because like you mine Bitcoin and stuff. So they do kind of stuff like that. And also every weapon. So when you dive into each one of these, I think there's 3 total like companies that you're basically diving into. You start with nothing. You literally drop you basically go down a slide. It's very like Google kind of themed, like where Google tries to make their work environment like fun, and they have like slides and stuff in their offices. So it's definitely playing into that. And you go down a slide to get into this company, and you have to then find weapons in each run. And the weapons are all like just stuff laying around. I mean, you can pick up a keyboard and use a keyboard to bash enemies. You can pick up a monitor and throw it at people. Eventually you start getting into a little bit more like funny weapons. There's like Nerf gun type crossbow things, and you fire those at people. And then each weapon has like a damage rating and stuff too. So like you just kind of walk over things, and it tells you whether the weapon on the ground is a higher value or a lower value than the one that you currently have. You can hold up to 3 at a time. And yeah, and then one of your favorite things is in this game, the weapons break after so long. So break your weapon in the corporate world. So yeah, but there is so much stuff around, it really doesn't matter. The only time it kind of bugged me is when like I had something that was like decent, and then it would break, and nothing else that I found was any better. Hi, babe. So
hello.
there she is. Say hi. Are you leaving? Okay, love you. Okay, sorry.
That's all good.
So yeah, like you'll run into you'll break something, and then like you're running around this room, and you can't find anything that's like that good, and you just have to deal with it, and you move on to the next one, and hopefully find something a little bit better. Yeah, I mentioned the durability. Oh, you have like mentors in this, so like there's a bunch of NPCs up in like the I've said hub in like so many goddamn games that we've covered, but there is like a hub world where you run around and talk to other people that you're working with. And you become mentors, like they become your mentors, and then each one of those have their own perks, which you use in each one of your runs. So like one character has like he's a barista in like the coffee area of the company, and he has like a drink that you can drink, and it like speeds up your attack power, your attack speed. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And then there's also like apps on your phone that act as perks as well. So there's there's passive things, where you start with an extra heart, just that kind of typical, roguelite stuff. So, oh yeah, I did write down what each one. So there's Joblin is one of the companies, and it's what is Joblin? I didn't even write it down. It's a gig economy startup. I don't know, with goblins and stuff underneath the ground. There's Winky Drink, which is Grub. Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
It's each one of those is kind of like a parody on like a real company, and then Styx Coin is like the Bitcoin company that's underneath there. So yeah, it's dumb, but it's fun. It's your character runs super goofy. All the like it's very physics based. I will say I didn't even kind of mention that. So like you can knock like shelves and stuff over onto people, and everything just kind of bounces around. You throw like little grenades and stuff, and everything just kind of bounces all over the levels. And it took me a little bit to kind of figure out the combat. Like it's very like non-weighty. Like everything's just kind of like very flowy. Sometimes I had a hard time even like narrowing in on a particular enemy that I was up against. So
the exact opposite of replaced. Nice.
yeah, basically, yeah. But it's fun. It's this is one of those that like I said, it's been out for a while, and I can just pop into every now and then, and just have some basically mindless fun. And then there's a final boss at the end of each one of the runs. You beat them, you go back up to the hub world. But the cool thing is like they add the layouts are procedurally generated, so you have a different kind of layout each time, and then there's like side objectives that when you beat the final boss, you don't have to be done with that area if you don't want to. They add other things in that you can go down and collect and level up. So yeah, just kind of a dumb fun roguelite. Just more of I liked it because it was like a goofy take on what's normally like kind of a more serious tone roguelite action game.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. I love the art style here. I don't know if it's, I mean, kind of I don't know. I need to learn terms. I would call it cell shaded, but it's not. I don't know. It's kind of cartoony.
It's very pretty cartoony. Cool. It's almost like we mentioned like voxel and replace. This has like its own style of like, it's like cute curved voxels almost. Like things are kind of just like stuck onto other things. Like even your character's arms like they look like they're just kind of like stuck onto the side of her. Everything's just got a real goofy, weird tone to it. So, but it's I mean it's good looking. It's a nice looking game. There's a lot of like particle effects, and basically everything can be broken, and you see pieces of stuff going all over the place. Runs at 60, so never seems to slow down or anything like that. So yeah.
So you said there's 3 companies. Is it pretty short then, or has it got some substance in
it? It's not though, because like I mean it took me a while to get even through to get to the boss of the first company, and then like you go into the next company, and there may be things that would help you out in that one that you can get in the first one. So then you are kind of diving into each one of these at different times to progress farther in the other companies, if that makes any sense. But I don't think I don't know. I don't think it feels too short. Each one of the runs seem like they definitely got some length to them. And then of course when you die, you go back up, and you can then spend these upgrade points to obviously you can have like there's a perk where you get the opportunity to get stronger weapons in each run. So like it's definitely run based in a sense that like you're definitely going to have some runs that you're like, I am just not finding anything good. I'm getting overwhelmed because they're the procedural part of it. Like you could be 2 rooms into a run, and you're in this room that you're just swarmed by people, and you just don't have a good enough weapon yet. So there's definitely been runs where I'm just like, let's just call it here and just let the guy beat me up, kill me, and then I'll start fresh. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't look up like game length or anything like that, but
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might explain this. I'm maybe making you repeat yourself. I apologize. Do you start every run at the same corporation, and then the lower you get, you go into different ones, or is it you pick a?
You can pick.
Okay.
Yep. So in your hub at the top, you have like these paths, like these like colored lines on the floor that guide you to each one of the slides for the different companies.
Okay.
So you can pick each one, and it doesn't seem like you should definitely start here because it's easier. You can kind of go, wherever you want, and then each company has its own like lists of things that it wants you to tackle or accomplish in each run or each man. How do I say this? Like each company has its own objectives, I guess I should say.
I gotcha.
So you may not complete those in each run. It may take you multiple runs to finally get these objectives completed. So if you get tired of kind of seeing the same thing from one company on your next run, go into the next one. You're continuously leveling up your character and all your perks and your apps and all that stuff. So it doesn't seem to matter which one you go into. And each one has a pretty distinct look to it, so keeps it fresh.
So you're saying there is some micro progression or
yes.
I don't know.
Macro progression in this.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah,
which I need in a roguelite.
I agree.
Otherwise I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. I agree with you. Game looks really, really. I mean, like I said, this looks like it might be up my alley. Even I think this looks dope. I'm just overwhelmed with what I got. PS4,
sure.
Xbox One, Switch, PC, 1999. Very positive reviews on this one. It looks like How Long to Beat's saying 10 to 15.
What? Okay. Shit, I couldn't even tell you what I got into this. This is just one of those that picked up a while ago and then just kind of every once in a while pop into. So
yeah,
couldn't even tell you like how much time I got into this one. So
many roguelikes, just so many roguelikes, and they're so hard to talk about on a podcast.
It is. I had a hell of a time trying to just describe what this game is doing, but I tried.
Yeah, you did a great job. Going Under, check it out. Been out a while. 1999. I think I said that.
Yep.
But looks super dope.
It's on. Did I write where it's? It seems like it's on everything, right?
It is on last gen. I'm assuming. I mean,
yes.
PS4. Every PS4 game's on PS5. I don't know about Xbox, but
yeah, I don't know.
You can get your hands on it, and even if you have a lower end PC, it doesn't look like it's super taxing. So you could probably play it on your PC.
You can play it fine.
No problemo.
It played fine on the Switch 1, and obviously it plays the same on Switch 2. So yeah, it's not very taxing.
Nope, doesn't look like it, but still has a nice art style. I love that.
It does.
Okay, let's move on. Are you ready?
Yep, I am.
Pragmata. This here, I'm fucking pumped. Okay, I fucking love this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game is hitting everything perfect for me. We both played the demo when we watched it for State of Play or Game Xbox something. I think it was State of Play, or I don't even know what it was. It was something, but they released the demo on everything, and we dove in, and I fell in love with the combat at that point. And I was super interested in the dynamic between the characters. So again, I'm going too far. In Pragmata, essentially, you play as Hugh Williams, who is a space security expert that is on a dispatch team where they go to lunar facilities that are having issues. So this one station goes radio silent. Hugh and his team get sent to the research station. Excuse me. And then everything goes horribly wrong. Hugh's entire squad gets eliminated. He basically falls down this hole in this space station, gets knocked out, and then gets rescued by this Pragmata is how they pronounce it in the game. Pragmata. Her name is, well, not Diana. Her original name is DI-03367. But then he renames her to Diana, and that becomes her name throughout the remainder of the game.
Did you ever think that whole 6-7 at the end, they did that on
They
purpose?
probably did, motherfuckers.
Oh God, I saw that. I'm like, oh no, all the kids are gonna freak out.
No,
anyway,
but
sorry.
What makes this game really unique, its combat is very, very, very unique. So when you aim at an enemy, it pulls up this little hacking mini game puzzle on the screen that you have to solve, basically. And the reason you have to do that is these enemies are very armored, so if you just shoot them with your weapons, you don't do any damage. You have to basically open them up, which is what Diana does, and it exposes their weak points, and then you can shoot them and deal much more damage. So you pretty much want to hack every single enemy in the game. And now that this system, one of my main complaints or concerns with the demo is that I felt like the hacking was a little too simple. And it is, but it does get more difficult as the game progresses. I don't want to go too spoilery, but essentially the larger enemies in the game have a much larger grid that you have to navigate. But throughout your playthrough, you start unlocking different nodes for the hacking thing. So you can do like a multi-hack, which will hack a group of enemies and not just one. And then you have all these different things that kind of change the way that the gameplay works. But essentially, when you're going through the hacking minigame, you have these blue gates you have to pass through. Depending on the amount of blue gates that you pass through is how long the enemy will be exposed for. So if you only go through one gate, it'll be exposed for like 2 seconds, like really short. So you have to kind of run this thing around and get it through all these different nodes. And it's super unique. And I think it's incredible. I really think it's a lot of fun because as I've played the game more, I'm starting to be able to get to the point where I can balance shooting an enemy in its weak point and hacking with Diana at the same time, which is like crazy, but it's just like it eventually becomes kind of natural. And it's really cool. I mean, the third person shooter genre needs a shakeup, in my opinion. And this is a great implementation of something new in this genre to make it feel very fresh. And I fucking love it. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's not the most complicated thing, but it's just enough to set it apart. And I think it feels really, really good. On to the narrative. The narrative here is phenomenal so far. I will say it kind of follows the same formula, or it follows like the same vibes as modern God of War, where you're kind of escorting a younger, I don't know, there's like a new genre term for these. I don't know if it's like dad RPG
what do they
or something.
call it? Sad dad something or something like that.
I don't know.
I keep seeing.
It's kind of in that genre sort of thing, but this game works so much better for me than either of the God of War games did. I don't know if it's just because it's a little girl and I'm more sympathetic to little girls than I am boys, or I don't know what it is, but there's something much, much better about this game telling that story than other games telling that story, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's working for me very well. I mean, Hugh's he's got some corny lines, but you're also talking to a 6-year-old, so it's like, it's not that out of place, but I don't know. I just love these characters, and there's so much good narrative that you can miss, because how the game works essentially is you take a tram to a location, you perform, you're at this location to do something. Just leave it at that. That's how the story progresses. But throughout the level, there are these hatches that you can go into, and that takes you back to the station, which is basically your safe house. And in the station, you can upgrade your abilities. You can unlock new nodes. You can level up your weapons. You can level up Diana. You can level up your health. You can level up pretty much everything. But in this, you're able to talk to Diana. If you take the time out to talk to her, you start to have these really in-depth discussions on Earth, because she doesn't know she was born on the moon or created on the moon. And you start to kind of go through this, and as the story progresses, you start to talk to her like we're going to get you to the moon. I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to take you and do all this stuff. And then by having these dialogue conversations, she also starts to draw you pictures, which are just like little kid drawings of you and her in these different scenarios that you've been in throughout the game. And it's just really adorable. And then it's really cool too, because those pictures get hung up on your desk and stuff. So I don't know.
Oh, cool.
This game just is hitting me really well. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm about halfway through, and you know, I the game kind of scared me because my first session was an hour and a half, and I logged out, and it said I was at like 28% or some fucking thing. I was like, holy shit, what the hell? But now I'm 7 hours in and I'm at 57%. So I think the progress meter was just a little off, but that's no big deal.
Oh geez, that scared me for a second.
Yeah, because I was like, oh god, this is one of those games I don't want it to be short. And it's weird because I don't know if you've ever done this before. I don't like to go super long with my sessions on this game because I don't want it to end. Like I'm dreading the end, so I'm like limiting myself to an hour and a half so I can keep kind of ticking away at it, which is
kind of prolong the experience.
Yeah, which is very rare for me, but but that's what I'm doing. This is a massive contender for my game of the year for sure.
Oh wow.
Halfway through, it's only going to get better in my opinion. I mentioned in my video, again, plug in the YouTube channel, go watch the YouTube channel. That if the combat gets a little bit more difficult, it's going to be tough to beat, and it has gotten more difficult. So
it has.
It's like I said, with the bigger hacking grids, with quicker moving enemies and different variants on enemies you've seen in the past that are much more difficult. It's doing all the right things. So I'm fucking hooked in this game big time.
That's awesome.
I just hope I can have it done by Soros next week.
Yeah, no shit.
Wait a minute. Is that next week? It might be a week after.
I think.
Oh, I got a week. We're good.
You got another week. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, I fucking I dig the hell out of this game. I think if you like third-person shooters, this is one you definitely should give a try to. It's $59.99, so not $69.99 like full-price games are these days. It's still, hefty. It's old full price, but
right.
Well worth it so far, in my opinion. I've got literally nothing bad to say.
That's awesome. I just wanted to say before we moved on that this is one I 100% plan on playing. I was very excited for this, but there was just a couple other things. Actually, the next game I'm going to talk about was one that was on my list, and as well as another one that I'm playing that I'll talk more about, in the coming weeks. But this looks just completely up my alley. It looks so much fun, and I will say, like Cam said, we both played the demo, and that basically hooked me. I was unsure about how it was going to play, before I started that, and it's one of those games that I think looks more complicated than it is. Like when I first started seeing all the hacking stuff as well as like the shooting, I'm like, are you doing this at the same time? Just trust us that it works.
It works very well.
It just works. And it's not overly complicated. It just works. And yeah, plays awesome. I can't wait to get started on this one. This is going to have to wait till Friday for me. Because I got too many other things on my plate, but I absolutely plan on experiencing this one. So, but your home area or whatever, I heard a lot of people talking about like that was one of their favorite parts.
It is so nice. It's
expanding
so good.
your base.
Yeah.
And people are saying kind of the same thing that you are. It's just there's just something satisfying with you like bring Diana things that she can play with. Like
I'll talk about that a little bit. So you get these random what are they called? I think they're called REMs, random experimental memories or something like that are scattered. These are like collectibles, but when you collect them, you take them back to your station and you give it to Diana. And I mean, it's fucking adorable, but it gets planted in your station and it's basically kids' toys because Diana's a kid, but she's never been able to be a kid. So these things are like playground slides, basketball hoops, crayons, bug nets to catch butterflies, like just dumb shit like that. But you're just able to see this kid experience actually being a kid instead of just being a whatever it is, an android, right? Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, the developers, the writing is really good. I mean, it hits when they talk about it. It's unbelievable. I don't. Yeah. So basically, that's it. And they are so rewarding to get that I am going out of my way to get everyone that I can possibly get. It's awesome. Phenomenal. It's really phenomenal.
That's great. Yeah, I cannot wait to start this one.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to compare it to. I mean, the closest comparison I can think of is like Dead Space, but it's barely Dead Space. I mean, like, because the laser, you can turn it and like do stuff, but barely. I mean, it's like, this is a whole new thing. I think it's great for the genre. I think it's really good for third-person shooter genre. It's a good mix-up, and I am fucking loving it.
It's just fresh. It's so, like, it's just a fresh idea, and I think it works really well.
Really
from what
well.
I played.
Yeah, oh yeah. It just gets better when you get the full game. So this is definitely one I'm excited for you to dive into. You're gonna. I think you'll love it. I don't see how you can't love it. I
can't see how I can either.
It's really incredible. So that's Pragmata. I'll probably have it done by the time we talk next. So we'll see. Maybe not though. I'm back to work, so I'm not gonna be able to play games for 40 hours like I did this week, like an absolute maniac. All right, moving on to the next game here. Jason's covering it, and we had a comment because Jason made a short about this game. So shout out to our boy Cole Zicki, third appearance on the show, I believe. Commented, said, hell yeah, great game. So he loves it too. Jason, tell us all about Mouse PI for Hire.
So, the game I've been playing, like Cam said, is Mouse PI for Hire, and it is a very like stylish first-person shooter / kind of detective mystery game. It was published by Playside Studios, and it's got that kind of boomer shooter kind of feel to it. But it's the art style, man. It you can't not talk about it. It is they call it rubber hose animations, and I had to look that up, like kind of what that meant, and it just basically means that everything is got a like basically a rubbery feel to it. So like your guns bend and move like they're just made out of rubber. So it just works, man. Absolutely loved the art style on this. So kind of the premise is you play as Jack Pepper, who is a detective basically in the 20s, and you just have all these cases and stuff that you're working your way through. So it's very like film noir style, which just works for this. I think I said 20s, but I think it's like in the 30s is actually kind of sort of when this is supposed to be taking place. Like I said, you play as Jack Pepper. He's voiced by Troy Baker, which is Troy Baker's in freaking everything. But he does a good job. Like he
does. He's a great
voice actor.
He does a
good job of playing Jack Pepper in this for sure. So and this Jack Pepper character is like he's like a war veteran, so he's real tough and like grizzly and stuff. And when you have conversations with people, they like sometimes tend to ramble on. He's like, let's get to the point, man. So it's funny. Lot of funny dialogue and stuff. So the city that you're basically in is called Mouseburg. And it's a struggling 1930s crime-ridden, city. So you obviously have your work cut out for you. There's always things going on that you have to kind of to work your way through. So the actual combat itself is pretty fast paced. The shooting is pretty quick. Guys rush at you. There's not a whole lot in the way of like AI that like the characters like hide behind things. There are multiple different types of enemies. Some of them literally just have a bat and they just run straight at you. So you just kind of pop them off as they're running towards you, doing a lot of like backstepping. And then you got like sniper characters and stuff that are hiding out in like, windowsills and stuff, and they'll take a couple shots at you, and then they'll kind of like they do this weird like almost like teleport thing where they like zip over to another area. So there are some ranged weapons. There's a shotgun. I just unlocked this like acid shooting gun. Basically, like just once you hit them, they kind of like dissolve and they turn into skeletons, and the skeletons just kind of drop to the ground. So yeah, super fun when it comes to that. So you get like this double jump feature. I think I'm four-ish hours into this one. And I just unlocked my double jump, which is like they put this. He brings up his shoe. You can see it like on the screen, and he like puts these like bouncy things, like these springs with another like board attached to them. So like kind of simulating like that you can bounce a little bit higher too. So yeah, just a super fun shooter game. Some platforming elements and stuff too. Nothing too tricky, but just kind of mixes up the the flow of the game a little bit. Lots of collectibles. So some of the collectibles are just things to kind of help your character out, but some of them tie directly into like the story. You're finding clues, and it's cool. Like each level, I guess I would call it, you don't necessarily solve the case. It's not like you go into a level, solve the case, go into the next level, solve the case. You may have to go into an area just to get some clues, and then you go back to your detective office and you have this big board up on the wall, and you're literally pinning things to this board, tying things together. And the more you do that, the more Jack is like, wait a minute, if this is tied to this, then maybe this. And then that like makes him think, I think I should go check out this area because of the clues that are tying itself together to the area. And then you talk to NPCs and stuff throughout the way too, and they give you clues. Like at one point he's looking for this like underground lab that this character supposedly has, and you're like, yeah, but I have no idea where this is supposed to be. And then you talk to this character and he's like, yeah, I heard that it's underneath his mansion. And he's like, thanks for the tip. So then you go to like this mansion area, and then you find this underground lab. That's where I got this acid gun. So it's just it just seems clever, in a way. I like that it's not just like solve a case, solve a case, solve a case. It's all kind of intertwined. Like I solved one case, but there was elements in that tied to the next one. just think it's well done. It's well written for as goofy as it looks. And, it's got a pretty solid story.
Nice.
Behind it too. So yeah, Mouse PI for Hire. It's I'm gonna keep playing it. I'll be talking about it more as I get through it. It sounds like it's fairly beefy too. I mean, some people I saw beat it in 12, but some people are saying they're hitting like the 20-hour mark. So and it's not, I mentioned this in my short, it's not like padding. There is just legitimately quite a bit of content in this game, which I fully appreciate.
Absolutely. So. Are you offended by all the cheese puns, or are you sad that he's Jack Pepper's a mass murderer and he has no repercussions from the law?
I know where you're going with that. No, dude, just play the game. It's fun. Don't take the freaking story so serious like some people have.
So you're saying you're not going to dock it points because it's not true to the film noir genre, and instead it follows the boomer shooter genre that's been established since fucking Doom in the 90s.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
What are we doing?
You want to shoot stuff, man. It's a video game.
Yeah, Jiminy Christmas. No, but this game looks dope. This is on my wish list as well. $29.99, I believe, too. So not super hard on the wallet or anything like that, but looks dope. Does it ever get? I mean, this is going to be maybe a dumb question. But obviously the art style is fantastic. Does it ever get a little repetitive just seeing black and white?
Not yet. I was gonna mention that. Obviously everything is in black and white. I had to up the brightness a little bit because some of the stuff seemed really dark. It's got HDR and stuff, so the blacks are really black.
Not blue, right?
Which you can no, and you can kind of get lost. There's also real quick, if you're watching the video version, there's this hacking mini game where you have to use your tail and you stick it in the lock, and you move your tail throughout the lock to hit these pins to basically open up the lock. So just a fun little side activity. You use that to open up safes, doors, bunch of different things too. So, but yeah, it is all black and white. But I'm not tired of it, at least yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you would. I don't know, just asking.
Yeah, no, good question though.
That was another contentious point of the IGN review. He was mad that some locks were harder than others. It's like, dude, have you played a game before? Like, are you? What are we doing?
Read this, man.
Yeah, it's one of the most.
That's so weird.
It's one of the most it's a fucking game. We're not going there. We're game reviewers too, but I mean, at the same time, you gotta whatever, leaving it be. Yeah, is this the first project by Playside?
I don't know. It's a good question.
No, Fumi published it. Let me look quick. I just
Fumi, yeah, developed by Fumi, published by Playside.
No, I think it is. I don't see anything else. So, very cool.
Then it's a good first entry. Then I would definitely say that.
Yeah, for
sure. And it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It has that kind of 2D on 3D, aspect where like the old Doom games and stuff had it, where like if you kill an enemy, they stay on the ground, and then if you run around them, their character stays in the same position. But the cool side part of that is like when you're actually battling characters, it does actually move. So it basically has multiple different viewpoints. So if you get to the side of a character, it's not like they just continue to spin with you. There's like a side profile of them. There's like a semi back profile. There's a back profile. So it mixes up, and I like that because it just shows like the developers put in a little bit of extra work when it comes to that, because obviously this is all hand drawn, so they had to like draw all the different angles of all these characters. It's just when they die, they just stay in like this pile, and then they just kind of stay in the same animation. But I don't care about that.
That just made me laugh because we're so old. Like I know exactly what you're talking about with like Doom, because the 2D the 2D pit box just pivots, so it's funny.
Yeah, anyways. It just pivots.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're moving on the ground, but you're just basically walking around them. So,
anyways,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's just funny. I mean, kids will never know. But I think this game's cool. I don't really have a lot to add, just because you're seeing it for yourself, and it's doing very well from players. I don't know what's going on with IGN, but
who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I mean, massive gaming company, and that's who you employ. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Right.
Jason and I'll take up some IGN money. We'll post some actual reviews if you want us.
Yeah, no shit.
But the podcast comes first, IGN, damn it.
Sorry.
All right. Mouse BI for hire, modern consoles, Switch and Switch 2, $29.99. Solid game. People are loving it. I'm excited to hear more as we continue on with this.
I will be.
I'm excited to hear more. All right. So we got a couple follow-ups. I finished Tokyo Xtreme Racer. So that game is awesome. Game is really cool. I just wanted to touch on it because I know I covered it when it first came out and said there wasn't much to talk about. There really wasn't much to talk about. It was the same throughout the rest of the playthrough, except you're just getting faster cars and doing the same thing over and over again. But that's just a very solid arcade racing game. It works for someone that wants to turn their brain off, listen to a podcast, Spawn Point podcast in particular, or a YouTube video, or listen to music or whatever. It's a very good game to just pop on, listen to your own shit, do your thing, and just kind of make some progress. I absolutely loved it for that. So that's TXR. I also beat PBA Pro Bowling as well. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So got through the whole career mode, won the Tournament of Champions, and that was fun too. So
That's awesome.
I don't know, two little
like
follow-ups.
when you beat Tokyo Extreme Racer, like what is that? Can you go back, or is it like a story mode that you completed? Do you actually roll credits, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there is, the whole premise behind TXR is you start out as a unknown on the Shudo Expressway, and your goal is to become the king of the Shudo Expressway. That's already claimed by somebody. So you basically go through the game's progression, you take out that guy, and then you get a credit roll, and then it kicks you back out because there's a bunch, like, this game has certain requirements that you need to meet to race certain people. So basically the big end game tease is that there is a more better, there's a big monster bad guy beyond the guy that you beat, but you have to 100% the game to get there.
Okay.
But I'm not probably going to do that. I got a credit roll that counts for me. I basically progressed through the story, got the final title, and that was good enough. I mean, for me to continue with that game, I would have to look at a wiki to find out, okay, so there's this wanderer on the Shudo Expressway. He only appears on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can only challenge him if you're on a 20 race win streak driving this specific car without nitrous.
Oh, geez.
Like, it's that in depth. So it's like, buoy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, it is. And then to make it worse, like there's no more like just straight rival groups on the map that you haven't already beaten, so you're not getting like an influx of coins and things like that. Sure. So I would be having to sell my garage cars to buy the shit cars to use to beat these. So it's just not something I'm really interested in. Maybe I'll dive into it, but I got plenty of other games to play. So
no kidding.
Yeah. So anyways, that was good enough for me to call it beat. And you can see my full review on Panax for both of those games if you want to check them out. I was looking into making a website for us just so I could throw up my reviews on there too, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet or not. But anyway.
Okay. Another project?
I don't know. I don't know if I need more projects. Anyways.
Yeah, no kidding. It's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, but there's those. Check them out on Panax.
Yeah. So on top of the games that I just talked about, I'm also playing Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream on Switch 2, and dude, it is fun. Awesome. I don't have footage yet. I'm gonna have to figure something out. You can't share footage from this game. It's kind of a big talking point, and I don't have my.
It's all good.
I don't have my capture hooked up to my Switch, only to my Xbox, so I have to whatever. I'll figure out something, but it doesn't really need a whole lot of footage, really. So it's basically a kind of a life sim. You start on this island, you create Miis, which are characters of whoever you want. I have myself, my wife, my daughters. I have a couple Formula One drivers, and I think I have like six total residents on my island so far. And the more that you do for them, it unlocks more homes. And I don't even know what the total number of characters that you can have in this, but it seems like it's pretty large. But you can't just like create 100 Miis and just have them live on this. It's progressed as you complete more objectives in this game, and it's just, this game works for me. It, unlike where I was kind of talking about Pokopia, and not really clicking with me, this game is clicking right from the get-go. So I think one of the big selling points is you feel a connection to the game. You're creating people that you either have, it could be celebrities that you have an obsession with or whatever, or, family members. It feels very personal, which is fantastic. And I will literally just watch two characters, cross paths, and then they stop and they talk, and then they're just having these conversations, and you just let them be. And you can get yourself involved if you want. You can suggest, topics for them. Obviously, like I love Formula One. I've got Formula One racers in it. Myself in the game, I put myself as a big fan of that. So like if I'm crossing paths with a driver, we'll sit and talk about Formula One, and they just have these conversations, and it's freaking awesome. And then like I created myself first, and then I created my wife, shortly after, and you can set that like, does this person connected to this person in any way? And I did click, you have to click partner, which I absolutely love.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's cool, like, your partner's in real life, but it basically sets up the relationship in the game. So like I was walking, and then my wife was coming down this side street, and my character stopped, and this like animation popped up, and his eyes got really big, and these like heart things like floated around his head. And then it zoomed into my wife's character, and she did this like real slow turn to look at him, and her hair's flowing, and he was just like, I'm in love. And it's so dumb, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great, like, people were calling it like kind of almost like watching a reality TV show in a way that you can interact with, which kind of does sum it up a little bit. So,
yeah. I think
and
it's a
each
great
character
idea.
has their own likes and dislikes, and you don't know, for sure what they are until you give them stuff. You might give them a piece of food that they hate, and it pops up on their list of things they hate. You can give them things that they love, so then you can keep them happy. That way you can design, decorate their homes, you decorate the island. It's just a lot of fun.
I would love to play this. This is one of those I'm sad is a Switch 2 exclusive, but
it is.
But I would love this. I mean, it is a very interesting thing. It's a lot more. This is a vibes game done well, I would say. It's a lot more. Yeah. It's a lot more like vibey than gameplay stuff. But
but there's enough. It works there.
Here.
There's enough for you to do that you don't feel like you're just watching. I mean, you are doing a lot of watching, but you can do a lot of interacting to make things, work for you on this island. So,
yeah, I would play the fuck out of this if I could, to be honest. I don't want to get into it too much. You said you're going to talk about it later, so let's save all of our Tomodachi Life stuff for a full segment. The game deserves it.
It does.
And I don't know. I want to play it too. I've heard really good things. It's very outside of my like normal comfort zone, but I've kind of had like a Sims itch lately too for some reason.
Oh, this might scratch that.
I think it would. I think that's what I need because I do not want to play Sims 4 with all the micro transaction nonsense in that game. So I think that might be the move. Tomodachi Life. Just have to hijack my wife's Switch 2 to do it, but is what it is.
Good luck.
Yeah, no shit. I think that's it for games. I think so. What else did I do? I touched Samson a little bit again. It's still not quite where I want it. It's such a CPU intensive game. It works a little better if I don't try to capture footage, but I'm a psycho and have to. I also played Black Ops 7 a little bit off of Game Pass. That game stinks. So we'll just leave that where it is. Didn't have to buy it, so I thought I would just try it. But it's like, I think it is 500 gigs. It's like,
good Lord.
Yeah, when I downloaded it, I think it said 500 gigabytes. I'm like, Jesus fucking. They literally are employing the strategy of that's the only thing you can have on your system, so that's your only choice. It's ridiculous. There's
my God, that's insane.
There's no reason for it to be that fucking big. But anyways, that's that. Other than that, that's all I've done, really. So
yeah, same here.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll come back with the news.
Okay, let's do it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Spawn Point Podcast, and we are on to the news section for the week. And the first article that I have, I'm not surprised by, but I still wanted to talk about it. And the article states that nearly half of games industry professionals have considered leaving the industry the survey suggests. So between 2022 and 2026, there have been approximately 45,000 layoffs in the games industry. This continued wave of redundancies has understandably led developers to feel less secure in their roles. Don't blame them. Compounded by the push for more AI tools and the uncertainty around next-gen consoles due to the ongoing memory shortage. So Doom co-creator John Romero summed it up best last month. He said, "We were there in the 80s for the crash, and this is definitely crashier," he says.
Oh, yeah.
So, as reported by GamesIndustry.biz, recruitment from Skill Search surveyed over 1,000 games industry professionals across UK, Europe, North America, Asia, and kind of like the Russian regions, and found that 44% of respondents had considered leaving the industry due to these layoffs, while 76% of UK respondents said they were considering job hunting outside of the industry in 2026. Man, that is just sad. Of those that have been laid off, 45% revealed that they had secured work in the games industry, but only 27% feel secure in their new roles. Job security and compensation were cited as some of the biggest concerns going into 2026, worsened by increased AI use and development, with more than half of respondents revealing that their companies now utilize generative tools. So, not a surprise, just a sad statistic in the games industry. And like I said at the beginning, I don't blame them. Like, I don't want it, but I can't. People still have to make a living, you know, and I can't imagine. I mean, we've had our shares even at the post office of being like, is this gonna, continue? Should I be looking elsewhere? So, I mean, this is a profession that these people love, and they don't want to leave it, but they, like I said, they still have to make a living, and it just sucks to hear these stats. I mean, that is a huge, what did I say, 45,000 layoffs from 2022. I mean, good Lord.
Yep.
4 years.
Yeah, it's horrendous. I mean, you wonder why they're fucking. They need to start a labor union. It's fucking ridiculous. It's far beyond. There's so many things that tie into this article. I think live service games are a big cause of problems. It's not the way gaming has always been. It's the way gaming is now, and we're seeing the market crash to an extreme degree. So it's obvious that's got something to do with it.
For sure.
I think these corporations are. I mean, they set unrealistic sales figures, and and the top brass in these companies takes the large market share of the company's earnings. I mean, it's all. I don't know. The industry needs to be reworked for sure, and I think getting a video game industry union would be the right move for these people. I feel terrible for them, and I don't want to see, games not be made because nobody wants to do the fucking job anymore. And I mean, think about kids wanting to go into game dev. It's a terrible idea. It's a fucking horrible idea. Like, everybody's probably telling them to not do that. Clearly, I mean, look at the industry. So we'll see. It's going to be an ongoing story. There's so many factors involved with it, but I don't know. Hopefully we get some restructuring soon, because
it just
bad.
Yeah, it just sucks, like you said, with these kids and stuff. I mean, it is a passion for a lot of these people, and then it's like, dude, my passion can't even pay my bills. I don't know. Sad.
Yeah, I agree. It's terrible. I mean, it's way to start off in a terrible way.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Bringing it down in the news.
Kind of on the same line of thought here. Pete Hines, former, what the hell did he do? Head of publishing for Bethesda, quit working at Bethesda because Bethesda's become no longer genuine after the acquisition to Xbox. So, he just came out and stated this, which I think is kind of really bad for Elder Scrolls 6. Just saying. If he would have had direct knowledge of that game, and he left because it wasn't feeling genuine, which means they're making something he can't sign off on, and this is the guy behind pushing out all of your Bethesda favorites from the past. So another piece of bad news, man. We're Debbie Downer in it today, but I just thought I would mention it. He didn't leave quietly. He threw that little jab in there. I don't know where I don't know where he's going from here, but it's
I don't think it said, did it?
No. Done everything I can do. This is not when I wanted it to end or how I wanted it to end, but it's not really up to me. And at a certain point, truthfully, my mental health was so deplorable, I just said I cannot. So it doesn't sound like things are going good there between those two.
Damn.
And we aren't going to see Elder Scrolls 6 for 10 more years.
Oh my God.
And it's probably going to be a live service, online only experience. Fucking barf. Do we have anything good coming up, Jason?
Kind of.
Nice white screen.
Depending on who you are. So the game that Cam has been pushing me to play for quite a while now, PlayStation's Bloodborne, is being developed into an R-rated animated series for Sony Pictures that the studio says will embrace the carnage that made the game so popular. So San Panich, president of Sony Pictures Entertainment Motion Pictures Group, promised during the studio's CinemaCon presentation that the long-rumored film will be very true to the gory spirit of Bloodborne, which follows a traveler who journeys into a gothic city full of nightmarish creatures. So Bloodborne, if you don't know, was developed by FromSoft and published by Sony Interactive. Definitely a great Souls-like game. That's the game we're talking about here that's being turned into an animated, so it's an animated movie.
Yep.
So they've done stuff like this, like obviously, Castlevania has turned into, that was a series though, I believe, on Netflix. There's a couple seasons of that. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. But this is actually going to be an animated movie in the Bloodborne universe. So I thought that was kind of cool. Interesting. I'll probably check that one out.
Fuck out of this, dude. Jacksepticeye's behind it. He was big into Bloodborne when it came out. I don't know much about Jacksepticeye, but
I heard the name, yeah.
It's a great IP for a movie. A lot of lore. It's going to be creepy as fuck. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's got a ton of lore. Potential. It's a good IP to use, and then having someone experienced with the game being a part of it is only good. So I have high expectations. I can't wait for Jason to play this game. He should play this game.
I know he should.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that that's coming out. I would have preferred Bloodborne 2, but we'll take a movie instead. Sure.
Yeah, I'll take a movie. Sure.
Here, dude. Probably exclusive to Netflix or some bullshit.
Probably.
Jason, do you still... Go ahead.
But it's Sony... Oh, yeah. I guess it still could be just because it's Sony Pictures. They can put it on wherever they want.
I would go see it in theaters.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely would.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Jason, do you still want a Neo Geo AES?
I don't know. Do I? I did, but maybe not.
I don't know. Do you? SNK is releasing a modern Neo Geo AES console with unrivaled authenticity and $70 game cartridges. So, cartridges are still ridiculous considering these games are 20 years old at this point. They used to be like $300 new a cart, which is fucking absurd. Which is absurd. But it's saying here this will release November 12th for, this is all in pounds. Thanks, Video Game Chronicle.
Thanks, guys.
For $249.99 pounds, $179.99 pounds, and $199.99 pounds. With a roster of game cartridges also due to go on sale for $69.99. No, wait a minute. I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, $249. I am dumb. So the console's $249 they don't have a price for American carts. They just have. Is that a British franc? I don't know what the hell that signal is.
I don't know what that is.
And then I don't even know what those. Dude, I'm very American. Anyways, Neo Geo. They had an arcade cabinet basically built around an AES console. So if you went to old arcades as a kid, you played like Metal Slug or King of Fighters and things like that. Most likely, it was on an AES board. So they had this. It was kind of innovative for the time. It was an arcade machine that you could swap game cartridges out for. But they also sold that device for home use as well. It was ludicrously expensive for not only the console, but the games themselves were, like we talked about, ridiculously fucking expensive. So
yeah,
this is a little bit cheaper way to do it, to get your old retro games if you want. I don't know where the market is for this, really, to be honest.
I was going to say the same thing.
But you can if you want to. I mean, this is I don't know. There's a lot of companies that make these types of
I don't know.
consoles.
The Neo Geo for me is kind of like one of those like kind of retro things that, like, you know, back in the day I would have absolutely loved to have a Neo Geo, but like you said, it was so expensive. It was just like a dream goal to possibly ever have, you know, something like this. I mean, nowadays I don't really care as much. It was kind of a time and place thing for me. I thought the Neo Geo was just like, holy shit, man, look at what this thing can do. Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive. But yeah, I remember, you know, as a younger kid, you know, looking up like these cartridge costs. I'm like, they want $300 for this game. Like, that's insane.
It is insane.
You know, it just kind of made you feel like you were playing like an arcade in your home. So it just, at the time, you couldn't get that without having something like this. Nowadays, you know, whatever.
Yep, so it does say that it does come with a 1-to-1 replica of the arcade stick, a 1-to-1 replica of the memory card, and a 1-to-1 replica of the original gamepad. So it's as authentic as you can get this controller.
Whew.
Piece of shit.
Look at that.
Look at that. I will say you can spend a little bit more money, I believe, and get the like 3/4 scale arcade cabinet with like a bunch of Neo Geo games in it, and it's actually a standing cab. If you'd rather, but
that's kind of cool.
This is
can you swap out cards, or is it like an all-in-one type thing?
It's like an all-in-one thing, but I'm sure it's moddable like everything else. So
yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. I gotta stop looking at arcade stuff, dude.
I know.
Fucking virtual pinball machine. Fucking saw a Blitz the other day I wanted. Yeah. I gotta stop. Anyways, I just thought it was funny because we talked about Neo Geo into Pace.
Yep.
PlayStation. Nothing really. Pretty much nothing for this week, except for we got an announcement on what's coming to PlayStation Extra and PlayStation Premium on the 21st, so Tuesday. They'll be adding Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, The Crew Motorfest, and Football Manager 26.
There you go.
There you go, dude. That's it. I haven't played the Horizon games. I would like to. The remaster, not so bad. Crew Motorfest is very solid. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you about those. I've always wanted to try those Horizon games. Obviously, I've never had a. Are they PS5? They were PS5, right?
Started on 4.
4? Did it start on 4? Okay.
Yep. So the remaster is whatever it is. I don't know. That's a whole conversation topic on remasters, but I haven't played them. They release those games at the worst fucking times. There's always something within the same release window that's like more hyped. So then Horizon gets fucking dumpstered. But people like the franchise. I just haven't really had enough time to get back around to it. So yeah, that's cool. I
just thought they look cool.
They do look cool for sure. The Crew Motorfest.
But then again, it's also your open world style that maybe you don't always fully enjoy. Yeah.
Yep. You're right. You're right there, man. You're right there. It depends on the game, I feel like. I don't.
That's true. Yeah.
I mistake
Sorry.
open worlds for bloat a lot of the time. I feel like, and I need to shake that off. I've played so many linear games. Like, I think I could use a. Speaking of that, who's going to cover Crimson Desert? Because that is getting fucking loud. Somebody's gonna have to talk about that fucker.
God, I know. I want to.
Yeah, it might be me, and that might not be good for the show. Because that is.
God.
I don't know. I got lines on that, but fucking Soros is in 2 weeks, so. I don't know.
And Crimson Desert is just like such a massive game, like just a huge time sink, and I want to. It looks awesome, and it looks like it would be my type of game, but I'm not going to play anything else then. I don't want that.
That's my thing too. I don't know.
Yep.
It's getting loud. I was going to ignore it, but I fucking hear it all the time. I constantly see videos about it, constantly see articles about it. Like, it's just everywhere. So I feel like I'm missing out. So I'm probably going to have to scoop it. So we're going to probably cover it couple months down the road, a little bit later when I find some time to get into it. But I got Soros around the corner. That's going to take priority.
Hey, you can collect cats and put armor on them and stuff. I mean, that sounds right up your alley, right?
Fuck
collecting cats,
dude. Fuck off, dude. All right. Yes, I have a lot of cats. If you've been to a live stream.
I had a soft spot.
By the way, no, it's not a soft spot. I ain't ashamed of. I'm kind of ashamed of the amount, but we got a lot of rescue cats, and we work at a rescue, and it's become
You're doing good work.
It's become our whole identities, my wife and I's, but it is what it is. For the third time, the Crew Motorfest is also coming on PlayStation Extra Premium. That game's cool. Jason played a lot of that one. I need to go back to it. I
played a ton of that.
I say it all the time. I need to go back to it.
I enjoyed it. I liked the driving mechanics. I just thought it was a lot of fun. I liked, it's kind of like Horizon in a sense that like it's kind of a car collector type of game.
For sure.
But I just had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I played a lot of the first Crew, not so much the second, and then I probably played maybe 2 hours of Motorfest. I don't think I gave it enough of a chance, but I don't know. I feel like those games have a little bit more floaty physics than Horizon does.
They do.
Yeah, I don't know.
They do.
Weird. Something to get used to.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah, for sure.
And then Football Manager 26. That is Soccer Manager. I don't play those sim type things. So
don't either.
That's there if you want it.
Well,
that's it for PlayStation. PlayStation is quiet as usual. Moving on to Xbox.
Well, Xbox is a little quiet too. I just found one article that I thought looked kind of interesting, and that's that Xbox execs reveals that Blizzard is helping out with development on Fable. And I thought this was kind of I read this and I'm like, really? Blizzard makes like the CG stuff in like Overwatch and stuff is so good. And it kind of sounds like that's kind of what they're helping out with in this. So this article says that Fable is certainly one of the Xbox's biggest releases of the year. And a new comment from Matt Booty gives us a little more insight into its development and how an unlikely Microsoft team is helping bring the upcoming RPG to life. So in a new chat on the official Xbox podcast, the exec touches on how some of the teams are working together across games, revealing that Blizzard Entertainment is helping with cinematics work on the Fable reboot. So Booty basically said, we've really seen a lot once we build those connections of teams. Wait, I don't like how this is written.
Yeah, it's written really weird.
It's written really weird. So basically, it sounds like Blizzard is helping out with the cinematics in the upcoming Fable game, which I thought sounded pretty cool.
That is super cool. I still can't get over that Blizzard is owned by Microsoft.
I know.
It's still so strange, but
I forget that like all the time.
Yeah, it's a good use of resources, I suppose. We're going to have to see on Fable. It's still up in the air for this year if they're trying to dodge GTA 6, which is what's being reported. I don't know. I don't
we talked about that last week.
I don't want them to rush it, but it is cool that...
but I want to play it.
I want to play it too. So Game looks dope. What else is there to say? We've talked Fable.
I don't. Right.
Yeah, it's going to have some cool cinematics. So shout out to whoever's left at Blizzard that hasn't been laid off.
Yeah, exactly. The 5 people left.
Yeah. All right, you guys know what time it is.
It's Nintendo time!
Ooh, what do we got for Nintendo?
It is Nintendo time. Okay, just a couple small Nintendo articles. The first one I put in here says it looks like Starfield is coming to the Switch 2 soon. I don't know if we need this on the Switch, but whatever. It was spotted on Universal Nintendo. The sci-fi RPG was recently rated for Nintendo's console by the Taiwan Entertainment Software Rating Information Board, all but confirming the port. So it's been 3 years since it came out on the Xbox and PC, and Starfield just recently got ported to the PS5 earlier this month. So a Nintendo Switch 2 version, like the PS5 port, has long been rumored to be in the works. So we've talked about stuff like this before, that when we see, games being like rated on these other, sites, worldwide, it usually does point eventually to that particular game coming to the console. So I just thought this was weird. I don't know how well it's gonna work. I mean, look at the PS5 version. It's had a bunch of issues.
I was gonna mention
so I'm
that.
like, dude, how is this gonna work? And Bethesda did reveal, they did release, Fallout 4, the Anniversary Edition on Switch 2. The Oblivion Remastered has been announced, as well as Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is coming out later this year. So, I mean, it would kind of fit, I guess, to bring Starfield 2. I don't know. It's an odd game to put on a smaller console.
I agree. I was going to mention, you touched on it, but the PS5 port was bad from what I understand. It was not good. And then did you see the article about the first guy to get the platinum trophy? Said it was the most boring game he's ever played. I know that you like it, but that shit fucking had me cackling. I was laughing that he said that. This is like the game where they really refined the shooting, right? Didn't they like put a lot more effort into the gunplay in this?
The gunplay is actually very solid in this. The storytelling, I also feel, is pretty decent. It's just the thing that a lot of people had an issue with, me as well, is like they kind of advertise this game as like almost a No Man's Sky-ish type of thing, where you just go to these planets and you explore, but you really don't. Like you can land like on any part of a planet, but if you don't land like in these like areas where things are happening, it's just a empty area, and you just run to your objective. And that I did see a video of a guy, I don't know if it was the same guy, but like he landed in this area, and then he posted this video where he sped up the video like a ton because he's just running across this empty moon looking planet to finally get to his objective. Now you can avoid that by landing kind of where you're supposed to. It's just too bad that like, there's not enough, kind of spread out in these areas to do things. But it kind of ties into like these planets are a lot of them are desolate. There's just basically space stations and stuff set up on these planets. So it's not designed to, like, you don't want to just go off in a random area because you're not going to find anything. Like, I don't like how some of these planets are set up. They should only be, just certain areas that you can go to in each planet. It would have kept everything a little bit tighter. So
through the Destiny format, at least Destiny is full. Yeah. And those
Destiny is full, and I did enjoy Starfield. I beat the campaign and enjoyed what I did, but I didn't do a lot of that like random landing in areas hoping that I would find something, because you just don't. So I stuck to the main story and the side quests and stuff. So yep.
Yeah, it's a weird game. This breached outside of the gamer space. Shout out to my brother Daxton. Plays video games. He's not. I mean, he's kind of left the hobby behind and does this collecting thing now. But he told me he bought this for his PC when it was coming out. I was like, why? Of all games, why this? And he's like, I don't know. Look cool. Well, okay. I don't think he's even played it. But
yeah,
I don't know. It had some tentacles that reached outside of the hobbyists, but
it did. And one of the things that kind of honestly kept me playing was my dad was playing this as well. So we'd have a lot of conversations back and forth about the different things that he found. It was that type of game where he'd be like, did you go to this place? Did you find this thing? I'm like, no, I haven't seen that yet. And I'd be like, did you see this thing? And he's like, no, so that tied a lot into my enjoyment of the game, just having conversations outside of it. So but yeah, the game itself could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. I still enjoyed it.
Speaking of space, No Man's Sky added Pokemon. Did you see that?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to play that shit again. God darn it,
dude! That game is a completely different game than it.
So different, yeah.
I was so excited before that game even released. I'm like, oh my god, that's my headspace was like a game where there's a billion planets that you can go to and stuff. I mean, it sounded overwhelming, but I was still super excited.
Yeah.
And then I jumped in for the first time and I'm like, okay, there's a lot in this that there's not near as much in this as what you said it was going to be, but it's been one of the biggest redemption stories in gaming over the last few years. They have added so much. I have ultimately put a ton of time into No Man's Sky. Again, another game that my dad plays and we have conversations about it, but just a lot more to do now than there was when it first came out. So
I'm gonna have to go back to it. I say that all the time, but I played it kind of a lot when it started. It was rough at launch, but I just flew around and found cool spots and took pictures and shit. That was kind of what that's all I used No Man's Sky for. I didn't really understand they started adding base building, and then I didn't really understand so I fly to a planet, let's say it has the optimal atmosphere, right? So I build a base and now I never leave? And that defeat the whole point of the fucking...
I did not do a whole lot of base building. There's a couple missions and stuff where you have to build certain things to complete an objective, and that's basically all I did. I built what I needed to, and then but you can designate a planet as your home planet, and you can go back there. You can use it as your refinery. You can set up all these different machines that do certain things for you, that collect things that you may need for upgrades. You can always fly back there and gather all the stuff that your base has been working on. But I did very little of that. I liked the exploration part of it, and the laser gun thing that can dig underground. I mean, you could almost decimate an entire planet if you if you had the 1,000 hours to spend on it. But
it was really cool though, even from the launch of that game, being in outer space and then being either way, coming into the atmosphere and landing and taking off, and just you can fly across the planet. You can fucking shoot back out. That shit was fucking cool from day one.
Really cool, and I still like that part of it. You can literally be on a planet, jump into your ship, and fly out into outer space with. I mean, there's loading going on, but they disguise it and stuff as you're kind of breaking through the atmosphere and stuff. But you just pop out into outer space, and it's just overwhelming how big this game really is. I mean, yes, it's a lot of procedural generation and stuff, but they kind of mask it so it really feels like you can explore a billion planets or whatever. So have you ever heard of a game called Starlink?
I've heard
Starlink Battle for Atlas, I think it was one of those dumb Toys to Life type games where you can attach So anyway, I didn't do any of that, but Starlink was like a condensed No Man's Sky. Like there was only, I think, maybe a dozen planets, but like it did the same type of thing where you can be on a planet exploring, doing your thing, and then like shoot up in outer space, fly around, and fly directly to another planet, come through, land. Yeah, I enjoyed that game a lot. There is No Man's Sky, obviously you can hop out of your ship and then explore. Starlink is it's basically all ship combat. So everything is done. You're always in your ship. So
am I retarded? Is this a racing game?
No. This is one of the what you're looking at here is there are race events and stuff, but that's a very, very small part of it. A lot of it is like, upgrading these bases for these people and, bringing them resources, expanding, and then like it sends out like almost like a radar type thing, which unlocks new areas. There's the ship combat itself is great. There's a lot of stuff you can do out on outer space. There's a lot of stuff you can do on each one of the planets. Kind of a little bit more cartoony. Like the characters are all kind of cartoony. And I actually played this on the Switch, and the Switch version actually had Star Fox integrated into it. So you can play as Fox McCloud, and then like all his like teammates are along there with him. You can swap out. I think you can play as like a total of like 9 or 10 different pilots, and each one has their own upgrade path. I mean, it's a pretty dense game, and it did review pretty well. It just didn't get a whole lot of hype, but I enjoyed it.
Ubisoft. It's on sale right now if you want to buy it on PC for $8.
Hey, look at that.
$8. All right, let's. We started this conversation with Starfield, and we ended up everywhere but Starfield.
Right. Everywhere else. We got one more article in the Nintendo space here, and kind of another bummer, but Metroid Prime Remastered studio Iron Galaxy announces more layoffs. Obviously, they worked on Metroid Prime. They helped work on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 series last year. So Iron Galaxy, an American developer known in the Nintendo space for assisting retro studios with Metroid Prime Remastered and the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 last year, has this week announced more layoffs. So the studio confirmed in a post on LinkedIn, revealing that a number of teammates and friends would be losing their jobs as a result of new company structure. The same announcement states it's impossible for the companies to sustain the team size it has carried over the past year, even after the previous round of layoffs, which saw 66 employees depart. More layoffs in the game space. Fantastic.
Way to fucking start the fucking news section with a stinker and then end it with a fucking
and then
sad.
Round it out with another stinker.
We got some work to do in the community section to bring the morale back up. But yeah, this sucks. You know what, dude? We have a gaming podcast and we talk news, and it's 90% fucking layoffs.
That's, yeah. I mean, I know it's a bummer, but like, I feel like we still should.
Yeah, we got to cover it.
Address it.
We got to cover it. But I mean,
whether it's a bummer or not,
it would be a big deal if it happened once and we'd have stuff to say. But it's like fucking every week, people are getting axed.
Yeah, and on top of this, like we've got these horrible stories. But we start the podcast with all these fantastic games that are out that we're talking about. I'm like, what? It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's video games, man.
Video game. It's a thing.
Well, hopefully they don't know. Crash is imminent, John Romero says. John Romero's right. Bring back arcade games. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for the news. I'm bummed. We're gonna have to take a mental reset. Come back with the community section. And
sorry, guys, I'm usually the chipper one, but I'm bringing you all the sad shit this week.
What are you saying? I'm the breaker of bad news usually. Come on, man.
Of course you are.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right,
no.
We'll be right back, guys. Stick with us. We'll come back, talk some community.
Around.
See you in a minute. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Spawn Point Podcast. We're in the community section, so thanks for joining us here again. The end of the show. Wrapping it up positively.
Wrapping it up. Nice little bow on it.
Yeah, little bow on it. First thing here, comment from Zajan. We talked about him last week. He created the Screamer career management website for Screamer to give us more content in Screamer, which is fucking awesome. He responded to that video, so thanks for the shout out. Most wanted to lead with some news. Screamer CM is now available on mobile too. Love the podcast, guys. Keep it up. So check it out on mobile.
Awesome.
If you like Screamer, you can get more content through external sources because the devs still won't put out ranked mode multiplayer because the multiplayer stinks. But you the man. Thank you so much for watching, listening. And of course, very happy to shout you out when you make something as cool as you did. So that is awesome. Now, there was a ton of other community comments as well, guys. Like I said, we had a good week in terms of subscriber increases and things like that. A lot of comments. We answered them pretty much, so I didn't want to bring them back up again. There wasn't like any pointed questions or anything.
No.
And it was just stuff that we covered in the comments. So if you didn't get read, I apologize. Maybe point a question at us and we'll cover it on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So a couple questions to just kind of wrap the show up for fun. Jason. You can only play indie games or AAA games for the rest of your life. Which way are you going? AAA or indies?
I am going to have to say indies, especially with my kind of fascination with indies over the last few years. Now, if you had asked me this, many years ago, I probably would have said AAA because that's where my mindset was. I thought like that's what people played. Like you had to play the AAA, the biggest thing. But man, the indie scene lately has been so damn good that if I had to literally choose one or the other, I would play indies all day. And some indies are even getting to the point where it's hard to tell that it's an indie.
Yep.
Some of these indie games are so damn good that you're like, man, who made this? You're like, some developer I'd never heard of before. And that is awesome. That is just absolutely what I love to see. So
easy
indies for me.
Easy indies for me too. There's more variety in the indie genre.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it'd be a little tougher for you. Your favorite game, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, hyphenated, whatever one you prefer. You like Tears better?
I think I like Tears better.
It's a AAA game. You would never be able to play it.
Whatever. It's Nintendo though.
Oh, it doesn't count.
That's where
they're a mega publisher. That would mean you would cut out all Nintendo. I don't know if you're thinking about this. You gotta do some thinking. It's easy indie for me. My favorite game of all time, Expedition 33, is an indie game. Just throwing it out there. Best game ever made. Again, I'm going to continue to say it's the best game ever made because it's the best game ever made. And it's an indie game. And it's fucking amazing. You should play it.
Yeah.
No Nintendo. No Zelda. No Mario. No Star Fox, Donkey Kong.
Fuck you, man. You're killing this for me.
Hey, that's what it's all about. It's a conversation starter.
No, I still indies.
Woo, baby.
Still indies, man.
Spawn Point Podcast, the indie show.
The indie show. I mean, all the shit that I bring up for like our games discussion. I have so many damn indies in there. It's like you said, it's the variety.
Yep.
There's so much variety out there. So
hell yeah.
Indies
it is for both of us.
Sorry, Mario. Sorry, Link.
All right.
You're my favorites, but
get fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out Gustav. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. What game do you think is overrated, but you're too scared to say it out loud? I want pitchforks out in the comments. So give it to me straight. I'll tell you mine first. I'll start it because I got no problem pissing people off. I think God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok are way overrated. Massively. Both of them, I think, are way overrated.
Respect that.
That might be a little bit cheap. That might be a little bit of a cop-out. I got to think of something a little bit spicier.
I don't think so. You love the God of War series, but you don't like those games.
I know I've talked about it so many times. It's just not my Kratos.
I know.
It doesn't feel like my Kratos.
No.
And like I said, it's got that daddy story thing going, like Pragmata. Fucking stupid.
The Pragmata.
But something about like a young boy, I feel like doesn't work the same as, I don't know. I don't like those fucking games. They're okay. I think they're just okay.
Okay.
I think they're just okay. I'll
but
think about
okay is still overrated. You know what I mean? Like the mass public thinks those games are fucking untouchable. So to you, they're overrated.
Yes,
so.
I'll think of another. You tell us yours.
Okay, I have one. So Cam just mentioned that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, two of my all-time favorite games. Breath of the Wild is probably my favorite game of all time. But tying into that, obviously, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I did not enjoy Ocarina of Time. So, and that's not to say that like it's an older Zelda game. That really doesn't have anything to do with it, because A Link to the Past I absolutely loved. But moving to like the 64, I just, even at the time, like I played Ocarina when it came out. So like, let me fast forward a little bit. Playing it now is very difficult. It doesn't control well. It doesn't look well. I just don't think it's fun to play. But if I go back to when I first played it on the 64, I honestly felt the same way. I just it didn't click with me. I didn't enjoy the 3D aspects. I didn't like the camera like moving in just like 4 stages. There were other 3D games out there where you had full control of the camera. You just didn't have that in Ocarina. And yes, the dungeons and stuff were cool. I just didn't enjoy the gameplay. I did not have fun running around in that game. So that's a sin for a Zelda fan, but I don't really care. I did not. That game did not click with me. So when we talked about, I think last week, the rumor of the Ocarina of Time, remake, that I'm interested in, because I still think it has a good story. I just want some quality life adjustments in that game. I want it to be more fun to play.
Was Majora's Mask before or after Ocarina?
After. Majora's Mask came after. Yeah, it was the
same shit. Yeah,
same shit. It basically used the same game engine, with a different story. And Majora's Mask was actually even harder for me to play, because it involved a lot of like time stuff. Like you only had so much time to do certain things.
That was Ocarina.
No, that's Majora. Yeah, Majora's Mask had the time elements and stuff into it, and it just felt weird too. Like the characters were stranger, like, and I don't mind that in my games, but there's something about that one that story and stuff with that didn't really click with me either.
Different strokes for different folks. I mean, that one is 100%. Way more aggressive than mine, but I respect it, and I appreciate you putting it out there.
Yep.
That is what we got for a show. So
yeah. I liked it. Nice and tight.
Nice and tight this week, which is not too shabby. Nothing coming out massive this week for me.
No.
Just waiting on Soros next week. So I'll probably keep plugging it. Pragmata and something else or something probably after that.
Yeah, there was one coming that
Vampire Crawlers.
Oh yeah.
Not the 21st? Something like that.
Something like that.
That's not like a, I don't know.
No, not like a nothing massive. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I don't see any on my wish list that I'm super looking forward to coming up besides Pragmata. I will be playing that very soon. Yeah, but with Tomodachi and Mouse PI and now Pragmata, I've got my hands full for
you're eating good
the next few weeks easily. So
you're eating super good.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so next week will not be the mega pod for May because we'll do that on the 3rd.
Okay.
So it'll just be a normal episode next week. And then obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's kind of our main hub for content. We're posting on there all the time. Just to give you an example of how often we're posting on there. We're 13 weeks into the creation of this show, and we have posted 146 videos.
Nice.
So we're fucking cranking them out. So, good stuff on there. I posted a video, this weird video. This guy on Reddit asked for people to try his game. So I played this like really odd indie game. I thought I was fair. Thought I was fair to it, but it's still worth checking out if you guys want to. But anyways, subscribe to the YouTube, go to Spotify, rate the show, like the show, comment on the show, do all the fun stuff to get the shit out to other people. We would appreciate it. Follow us on social media, send us emails. We're done.
And definitely appreciate the people that have already subscribed and listened. We get feedback from coworkers and stuff, and they're still listening, and we love it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.
100%. So, Devin, Jordan, Sean. Nobody talks to me.
We're missing some. I know we are, but just everyone.
Everybody talks to Jason. I don't get. No one. I get to work in the morning and I'm in a fucking shit ass mood. So people just know like stay the fuck away from Cam. And then also if I get back at 3:30,
I have my days.
If I get back at like 3:15, fucking room clears for me because like I'm almost guaranteed to get told to go back out with something, and I fucking will get pissed. So I have that aura, and I don't want to have that aura, but that's just the way it is, dude. Just the way it goes.
What our job does to us, man.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Let's get the fuck out of here. I gotta continue playing Pragmata. So we'll see you guys next week.